Right. So in last session, we have seen the mathematical modeling of amplitude modulation, standard AM. Right. So that was the key thing which I wanted you to take away from the last session. Right. So apart from that, I tried giving you a big picture what we'll be learning in this first module, and why do we need to go for mathematical modeling, and why do we need to analyze spectrum of a signal. All those aspects we have discussed. So Swaroop is telling can't hear you. So am I audible? Right. Am I audible? Can anyone?
Audible, sir.
Yes, but Swaroop, I request you to check your connection. Right. Swaroop, I'm not audible for Swaroop. That's what he's telling. Yeah. So I think I'll continue. Right. So right. So in this session, we want to next we want to we have yeah. Come up with the mathematical model or time domain expression for a standard amplitude modulated signal, right? We want to try and obtain its spectra so that we'll get to know what are the frequency components present in that, what is the power level, what is the bandwidth, right? All those aspects we can analyze. So that is what we are going to do next. So before that, I would like to give you I would like to give a demonstration on a standard AM signal, like using a GeoGebra simulation, right? So we'll start with that GeoGebra simulation, then we'll continue with the remaining part. So so that will be the GeoGebra simulation will be the first one to do in this class, right? So then after that, we will discuss about some of the very basic prerequisites, right, which are required for you to go ahead and study the spectrum of AM or any other topic in this module, right? So I'll be discussing the prerequisite through a simple quiz, right? I'll conduct a quiz on quizzes, and through that I'll be conducting the we'll be discussing the prerequisites, and after that we'll try and derive the spectrum of AM. So now we'll start with, right? So now we'll start with actually a simulation of standard AM, right? So now I have stopped sharing the screen. I'll share the GeoGebra tab in my Google Chrome. So I request all of you to pin my screen to your window so that you can see the simulation, right? So is the screen visible? I've shared a GeoGebra tab, right? Is it visible to everyone? So can anyone unmute yourself and tell?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay, fine. So GeoGebra, it is actually a Google applet which we can use to visualize various mathematical functions, right? So what I want to show now was, right, in amplitude modulation, standard amplitude modulation, we have seen as per the definition, a standard AM, what it does is it modulates the amplitude of a carrier around a mean value linearly with respect to the message signal, right? And we have seen Ka is the amplitude sensitivity, and we have even seen Ka into M of t mode of that, right? And maximum value of mode of Ka M of t multiplied with 100 is nothing but what percentage modulation or depth of modulation, right? And we told for us to get a perfect AM signal which can be extracted, the envelope of which can be extracted easily, when this mode of Ka into M of t is always less than 1, or 1 plus Ka into M of t is greater than 0, right? So we will just see what happens when Ka changes, right? So to start with, like I have assumed AC is the carrier amplitude, right? So it's a constant, right? AC is carrier amplitude, FC is carrier frequency, right? And the message signal need not always be sinusoidal, right? It can take any shape, but as any signal other than sinusoid, it is not easy for us to simulate, right? So that is why they are called random signal or undeterministic signal, which cannot be expressed using a mathematical equation. So what I'm doing is I'm going to use a sinusoid as message signal, right? So I'm going to use sinusoid as message signal. Of course, we'll study this in next topic, that is a single tone modulation, right? So I'm going to use sinusoid as message signal. For that, I have assumed AM to be the amplitude of sinusoid and FM is the frequency of the message, right? So maybe you can see in GeoGebra, I can vary this. All these are sliders or variables. I can vary this and see how it affects the simulation, right? Now, I'm assuming my message signal, like in this, actually, it is g of x. Normally, the signal should be a function of time, right? So, but in GeoGebra, like I'll be plotting in this xy plane, and in this x axis is the independent variable. So instead of t, I'll be using x. So please don't have confusion, right? And one more thing, I'm not telling you how to do the how to actually what simulate something in GeoGebra. Maybe later on I'll take it up, right? So today I'll just show the simulation. It's very easy and straightforward. I'll help. I'll come up with a video on how to run a simulation in GeoGebra later, right? But today we'll just see how to simulate this AM, right? So this is our message signal, right? This is our message signal. It is a message signal, and AM amplitude is, now you can see it is 0.5, right? And frequency is 1 hertz. Frequency is 1 hertz. So you can see in 1 second there is one complete cycle. That is what is meant by frequency is 1 hertz, right? So this is our message signal. Its amplitude is 0.5 and frequency is 1 hertz. Right now, I'll show you the carrier signal, that is AC cos 2 pi FCT. So FC here I have assumed it to be 10. So this is just for actually what illustration. Normally, this FC value should be in radio frequency range, right? But for you to understand the concept, right, I'm considering FC to be 10 hertz, right? So this is our FC. Now we have seen, right, FC is, so this is our carrier. Its amplitude, now AC I have taken it to be 1 and frequency is 10. So now, can anyone unmute and tell me what is the expression for standard AM, time domain expression for standard AM? Can anyone unmute and tell me, please?
AC into 1 plus K of M of T into cos 2 pi FCT.
Yes, excellent, right. So I have actually written it here, AC into 1 plus Ka into, instead of M of T, I have written AM cos 2 pi FMT, or AM 2 pi cos 2 pi FMX. That is our M of T, right? Why? Because I can't have any other non-deterministic signal. I can't simulate it. I can do it. Of course, I'll have to populate the sample and upload it as a CSV file and then plot. I can do that, but it's like, instead of that, I'm considering our message signal to be a sinusoid. I hope it is fine, right? So AC 1 plus Ka into M of T times cos 2 pi FCT. So instead of T, I have given here X. So now we'll see what is our signal. Yeah. So you can see it here, and also we need Ka, right? Ka also I have defined. Ka value is now 0.6, right? Ka value is now 0.6. Now I have already shared this. Yeah, I've already shared this in our canvas, right? You can play around with this, right? So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the value of K. So what happens when you change the value of K? You can see, right? As I increase the value of K, the depth of modulation increases, right? Maybe, and what is the value of K into M of T? Maximum value of K into M of T here, it will be equal to K into AM, right? So we'll discuss that later. So the maximum value of K into M of T will be K into AM. Why? Because, right, M of T is AM cos 2 pi FCT, and maximum value of cos 2 pi FCT will be plus 1, right? And so maximum value of AM cos 2 pi FCT will be AM, and maximum value of Ka times AM cos 2 pi FCT will be Ka into AM, right? So that is our percentage modulation, Ka into AM. So now Ka into AM is 1.3 into 0.5. What is 1.3 into 0.5? That is, of course, less than 1, right? So now you can see a perfect envelope, right? A perfect envelope you can see, right? And you can extract it easily. There is no phase reversal or anything, right? But now what I'll just change the range, right? I'll change the range of K from actually what I can, as if I can vary from 0 to 4. Right. So yeah. So now if I keep on increasing k, what happens? You can see the depth of modulation increases, and when k is 2 here, k is 2, and AM is 0.5. So 2 into 0.5 is 1. So when Ka into m of t, maximum value of Ka into m of t is equal to 1, you can see exactly it touches 0. The envelope touches 0. Right. But further, if I increase this, you can see the envelope is getting distorted. Why I am telling envelope is getting distorted? So maybe we'll observe it along with our message signal. See, right. So this is our message signal. And now if you see for smaller values of Ka or Ka into AM, the envelope is exactly same as that of actually varying exactly similar to that of message, right? But when we increase this Ka, when Ka into AM it goes above, so now it's getting distorted. Now the envelope is right. Now the envelope is something like this, right? As we have seen. So this is what I wanted to show to you people, right? And I've already shared it in Canvas. I request everyone to uh, play around with this, right? And I'll help you through. If you have any doubt, I'll help you through. But it's pretty straightforward. It's like a calculator which can visualize graphs or waveforms, right? That's it. And you don't have to bother about syntax and all those things. The syntax and everything will be taken care by this GeoGebra Classic only, right? So maybe a GeoGebra tutorial I'll give later. Maybe I can post videos, right? So like now, can anyone tell me was this helpful? Is it clear now what the variation of K into AM? Can anyone unmute and tell? Are you able to visualize this here? Amplitude is getting distorted. Maybe what we can do is, what I can do is I can show you where the phase is getting reversed. Right, first phase reversal. Right, phase reversal. Right, actually, if you see the is my screen visible? Right, is my screen with? I'll just try and zoom it in a bit. I'll try and zoom it in a bit. Right. So actually, you can see this carrier. Right. It's continuous here, and it's continuing, and till here it is continuous. But after this, it should have gone to negative. Right. But instead of that, its phase is reversed. It again started going to positive. That is called actually what? Phase reversal. Right. So I'll do a detailed video in which I will be actually what discussing all these aspects of simulation in detail. Right now, maybe I just want you to see how this K and M of T affects the envelope. Right. So can I stop this for the time being and move ahead? It's already available. The simulation link is already available in Canvas. Right. So I request everyone to go to Canvas and play around with this and try to change the values of FM, FC, AM, right? And try to understand what happens. So can I move ahead?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Right. So now, yeah. So now I'll right. So now we'll have we'll discuss about the prerequisites which are required for this session. Right. So for that we'll be having a live quiz, right? So yeah, so I'm sharing my quizzes screen. Please acknowledge if you all can see the screen, right? Please acknowledge if you all can see the screen, right? So
Yes, sir.
okay, fine. So now we'll have a small discussion. It's not a quiz. It's not a graded quiz or anything, right? It's basically intended for actually what discussion, right? So what you all should do is you should go to joinmyquiz.com and enter the code 410447, or else I will share the link in chat window, chat box. You can click in and join. Right. So I want all of you to do that fast. Right. So already we have 2 participants joined. Yeah, 3. Please join fast. Yeah, we have that 35 participants in. Right. I request others to join fast. Right. Keep your audio on so that you can hear if any instructions I'm giving in between. Right. I know you'll be navigated out of the Google Meet window, but not a problem. Right. As soon as you finish this quiz, I request everyone to come back and come back to a Google Meet session. Right. So we have 47 participants. We have more people to. Right. So more people are yet to join. Right. 48 participants are there. 49. Yeah. Please do join fast. If anyone has any difficulty in joining because of network connectivity or anything, right, please don't worry. Right, what you can do is you can see the screen. Right, the question will be displayed in the screen, and please take part in the discussion. Right. So we have 53 participants. Right, I'll wait for another say 10 seconds. After that, I'll start this. So basically, in this quiz, not a quiz, in this discussion, I want you to brush up some of the basic prerequisites, namely the concept of complex numbers, right? And what is meant by Fourier transform, its physical significance, right? What do you mean by negative frequency in a spectrum, right? And some of the results, some of the Fourier transforms of some of the functions of our interest. For instance, Fourier transform of a del of t, right, or a constant or cosine, right? Those things, and some of the properties which is exactly required for our discussion. That is, namely, frequency shifting property, modulation property, and all those things, right? So I don't think we have time for a detailed discussion on the basics of Fourier transform. But based on this quiz, we will have like a constrained discussion, right? So I think we have 55 people on board. I'll start the session, right? So I assume others have some difficulty in joining, right? No problem. I'll start the I've today. Right. Yeah. So the quiz is to review some of the useful results. Right. So we'll start. We'll start. So I've provided time limit for each question. Right. So first question is, consider a complex number with real part equal to a and imaginary part equal to b. Also let r is equal to root of a square plus b square and theta equal to tan inverse of b by a, which is the correct way to represent the complex number. So I've given some 3, 4, 5 options, right? You have to choose which is the correct way to represent that complex number. So I believe the knowledge of complex number, clarity on the concepts of complex number is very important for you to like study any transform as such, not only Fourier transform, right? So and it's very important as far as communication system student is concerned, right? So we have 33 people joining, right? So this is not only to test your knowledge, just to make you recall some of the basics which you have already learned, right? So as I told, you don't have to feel bad if you are not able to give correct answer. It means you still have actually a scope to learn this thing better. That's it. Right. So we have 50 people joining in. I'll give another say 5 more seconds. After that, I'll stop this. Right. Even though I've given 120 seconds for this, I think it's more. Right. So yeah, I'll in another 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Right. Yeah. I'll just yeah. Okay. Now I have ended the question. Right. Yeah. Many of you have given correct answers. Right. Many of you have given correct answers. Right. Out of total 54 answers. Right. 25 have given correct answers. Right. So remaining 25 plus 4, that is 29 have given. It's not wrong answer, but we can represent a complex number as in Cartesian form as a plus jb, where j is actually what square root of unity. That is one way of representing. That is Cartesian form, right? Or else in polar form, I can represent it as r angle theta, right? That is also correct. And another way of representing in polar form is r e power j theta, where r is the magnitude and theta is the phase, right? So a complex number, we need two number to represent a complex number. Either we can represent it as a real part plus imaginary part, or else magnitude and phase, right? So magnitude is nothing but root of a square plus b square, root of real part square plus imaginary part square, right? And angle is tan inverse of b by a, tan inverse of imaginary by real, right? So on 26 have given correct answer, right? And also I can write it as actually what, r cos theta plus j sin theta. Why? Because by Euler's formula, e power j theta is cos theta plus j sin theta. That is also a very, very important result. It can give you a lot of insights, right? So right, yeah. So the correct option is it's all, in all way we can represent. So please do remember this. We'll move on to next slide. So a sinusoidal signal with peak amplitude AC is applied across a 1 ohm resistor. The power delivered is, right? So a sinusoid, it can be AC cos 2 pi FCT or AC sin 2 pi FCT. It is applied across a 1 ohm resistor. What is the power delivered? What you have to keep in mind is AC is the peak amplitude. Right. For this question, I have given only limited time, right? As there are two options only. Only 7 seconds left. Okay, yeah, it's yes. Okay, fine. So now we'll see. Yeah. So in this, after 47 answered, 13 have given a wrong answer. It is AC square, and 34 have given correct answer, right? AC square by 2. Why is it AC square by 2? Actually, it is V square by 2R. Why is that? If V is the peak voltage, if AC is the peak amplitude, why it is not AC square by R? Why is it AC square by 2R? It's because whenever we are actually dealing with power, we won't consider actually peak amplitude. We'll consider the RMS amplitude, right? So of a RMS amplitude of a sinusoid is 1 by root 2 times the peak value, right? So it's actually AC by root 2 is the RMS value. We should square it, right? That should be divided with R. So that's why it's AC by root 2 the whole square. That is AC square by 2. That's why this answer is correct. So this concept is required for us to evaluate the power, right? Maybe when I say the carrier power is more in standard AM, so you should have this idea, right? So that's why I've included this question, right? So I hope it is clear. We'll move on to the next question. Right. So if anyone has any doubt, you feel free to go back to the Google Meet window and unmute yourself and ask a question, or else you can even post it in chat window. Right. Actually, Sean has told sir 1 minute. I'm seeing it now as like, okay, fine. Yeah. So we'll move to the next question. Hopefully, yeah. Right. So next question is maybe a significance of Fourier transform. What information can it give you? Write only keywords, whatever comes to your mind first, or write only keywords you have to write. You don't have to write descriptive answer. So I just want to know what are your actual thoughts on Fourier transform. You have to type in. You have to type in the answer in this, right? Oh, some have told it is image processing tool. It is frequency domain, time domain to frequency domain, conversions. Excellent. Yeah. Then other answers, frequency domain, frequency spectrum. Good. Converting signal to frequency domain from time domain. Excellent. Frequency domain. Right. Conversation or maybe conversion. Right. Image processing describes a signal. Okay. Good. Yeah. So okay, I've given only ample like less time to that. No problem. Right. So now we'll see. Right. Like okay, maybe fine. We'll move. I have moved on to the next question. Sorry. Yeah. So Fourier transform of x of t is defined as f of x of t is equal to x of f, and that is equal to how it is defined. How Fourier transform of x of t is defined. Yeah, please give answer very fast. I've given only less time for this question. Why? Because it's a straightforward question. Yeah, already 51, 52 have answered. Yes. Okay, fine. Time is up. I think most of you have given correct answer to this question. Right. No, okay, yeah. So the correct answer is x of t into e power minus j 2 pi f t dt. Right. So if you take Fourier transform of x of t, right, the resultant will be a function of f. Right. So you are integrating it with respect to t. So the definition of Fourier transform is x of t into e power minus j 2 pi f t dt. Right. So it will give you what are the frequency components present in the signal x of t. Of course, it converts the signal x of t from time domain to frequency domain. Right. So 29 have given correct answer. Maybe others like may not have read the options correctly or got confused or whatever. Right. So it's the correct answer, right? Or did I make a mistake? Right. So those who are logged in from PC. So if you can unmute and like maybe you can switch the tab and unmute and tell whether I have made a mistake. Is it correct? Anyone who is logged in from a PC, please. So okay, maybe I'm not wasting time. I think it's good to go. We'll continue. So the definition is x of t into e power minus j 2 pi f t dt. Right. So we'll move on to the next slide. Next question. Right. Inverse Fourier transform of x of f is defined as. How inverse Fourier transform of x of f is defined? So inverse Fourier transform actually what converts a frequency domain description of a signal into time domain expression, right? So how it is defined? Okay, I'll give only 5 more seconds. Right, so please do join fast. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So okay, yeah, I'll end this question. Right. Yeah, let's see how many I have given. Oh, so inverse Fourier transform, it is x of f into e power j 2 pi f t df. So that we are integrating it with respect to f. Why? Because x of f is a function of f. We are integrating it with respect to f, and the t will remain. So what we'll get is a function of t, right? So the correct answer is x of f into e power j 2 pi f t df, right? So no problem. I just wanted you to what recollect all these things. Now we'll go to the next question. If x of t is equal to 1 for all values of t, what is x? What is the Fourier transform of 1? That is a question. So I'm spending some time on this prerequisite so that I'll get to know what is your status, right, and how I should take the discussion forward. Yeah, so time is up. Right. Yeah. Then yeah, so 18 I have given correct answer. It is del of f. Yeah, 18 of you have given correct answer. The answer is del of f. It's actually a Dirac delta function of frequency, right? So how this del of f or del of t is defined? What is sine pi f by pi f? That is called a sinc function, right? Sine pi f by pi f is called sinc function, right? And del of 1 will be del of f shifted left by 1 unit, right? So maybe we will see, right? So we'll go to the next question. So Dirac delta function in frequency del of f is defined as a Dirac delta function of frequency del of f, right? So it's, you might have studied the definition in time del of t, but if you replace t with f, it gives you the definition. So what is it? Definition of delta function. So you might have noticed when I showed the spectrum of AM, standard AM, there was a delta function. AC by 2 into del of f minus fc and AC by 2 times del of f plus fc. So we should know what actually is this delta function. So that's why I have included this question here, right? So, and please don't worry, even if you are spending some more time on this prerequisites during live session, I can make the videos of other contents available so that we won't we'll be able to finish our portions, right? But I think always we require to spend some time on prerequisites. If we should be able to link what is already known to you with the unknown. So if there is some gap in between, it will definitely affect the learning experience, right? So yeah, so 30 have given correct answer, right? 30 have given correct answer. So the correct answer is del of f is equal to 0 for all f not equal to 0. It is defined only for f is equal to 0. And what is the value of del of f at f equal to 0? That we actually can't tell. But what we know is if we integrate del of f from minus infinity to infinity, the area under del of f will be equal to 1, right? So that is how del of f is defined. It's not del of f equal to 1 when f equal to 0, and it's not the value of del of f is not equal to 1 when f is equal to 0. It's that the area under that del of f will be equal to 1, right? So maybe you might have studied this in signals and system and even in DSP. We are just recollecting. So I think you are okay with this definition. So now we'll move on to the next question. So this is the very famous Euler's equation, e power j theta, where I'll be using j for square root of -1, right? So you might have used I or something else, right? So I'll be using j, right? So what is e power j theta? Even this is also very important result for us. We'll be using it extensively throughout, right? Not only for first module, right? Throughout we'll be using. So okay, time is up. I'll stop this. Yeah. Oh, wonderful. Right. So most of you have given correct answer. Right. Out of 54 I have answered, 47 I have given correct answer. So this is the question with most number of correct answers so far. Cos theta plus j sine theta. Okay, fine. So now we'll see like how right, good. So it's e power j theta cos theta plus j sine theta. Why? Because I have already discussed this, right? While discussing like how to represent a complex number, I have discussed this. Right. Okay, fine. Otherwise, also you may be well aware of this. You have studied all these things very well, right? Yeah. So we'll move on to the next aspect. So how can I represent cos theta in terms of what complex exponential? Cos theta is yeah. Okay, fine. So I'll end this. Let's see how many have given correct answer. Oh, excellent. So it is e power j theta plus e power minus j theta by 2. Correct. It actually follows from the previous definition. E power j theta is cos theta plus j sine theta. From that it follows, right? So it's nothing but what real part of e power j theta. And to get real part, what you should do is you should add a complex number with its complex conjugate and divide it with 2. That will give you real part. Then what will be e power j theta minus e power minus j theta by 2j? That will be nothing but sine theta. That is imaginary part of e power j theta. To get imaginary part, we have to add a complex, subtract a conjugate of complex number from the complex number and divide it with twice j. Right. So, okay, I'm happy that 48 of you have given correct answer. Right. So now we'll move on to the next aspect. Yeah. So this is again famous trigonometric relation, product formula, whatever. Right. Cos A cos B. Right. Maybe you should be able to teach this to me better than like I do it to you. Right. So what is cos A cos B? Right. Please forgive me if I made any typos in the options. Right. Yeah. Okay. So cos A cos B. Oh, okay. Again, 47 have given correct answer. Right. So it is half cos of A plus B plus cos of A minus B. So we'll be using it. Right. We'll be using it. Right. So when we are multiplying a message with a carrier, right, it's like actually product cos 2 pi fct times cos 2 pi fmt. So it's a product. At that time, if we have to simplify it and find the spectrum, we'll have to use this expression, right? So okay, excellent. And what is half of cos A minus B minus cos of A plus B, right? Maybe I've just included two slides. So cos A cos B is this, sin A sin B is this, cos A sin B is this, sin A cos B is this. Of course, I'll share these slides with you, right? These results, knowing these results will be helpful. That's why I have included these results in this. I think all of you pretty much know these things. I don't have to discuss, right? And similarly, we have addition of cosine, angle addition of cosine and sines, right? Sine of A plus B, sine of A minus B, cos of A plus B, cos of A minus B. These results also are required, right? So I'll make this available, right? Sorry. Yeah, next is a question, right? The frequency shifting property of Fourier transform states. What is meant by frequency shifting property? So in this question, x of t is time domain function and x of f is its Fourier transform, right? So what does frequency shifting property of Fourier transform say? So this also we'll be using, right? So I'll give another 5 seconds, and after that, I'll close this question. Right. So those who have not joined it, please do join fast. Right. Please, you don't have to worry if you don't know the answer or if you are making mistakes. Right. The intention is to make you people refresh or brush up all those basics which you have already learned. So I'll end this question here. Yeah, so it's like if x of t is Fourier transform is x of f. So if you multiply x of t with e power j 2 pi fct, right, its Fourier transform will be x of f minus fc. That means the spectrum will be shifted right by an amount fc, or right. So that is, or the frequency will be scaled up by an amount fc, right? And also, if you multiply x of t with e power minus j 2 pi fct, you will get x of f plus fc. So what happens is frequency spectrum will be shifted left, right? So this also you might have seen while I showed the spectrum of standard AM or any signal. We had m of f plus fc and m of f minus fc. All those things that comes from this property of Fourier transform. So I'm very happy that 43 of you have given correct answer. Others, those who have given 6 and 5, opted one options. They might have seen one option and clicked thinking only that is right. But okay, fine. It's good to know that you are already aware of this, right? Then next question. So if m of f is Fourier transform of a baseband signal m of t, then Fourier transform of m of t into cos 2 pi fct is. So now that you know frequency shifting property, now that you know how to represent cos 2 pi fct as complex, as actually what in terms of complex exponential, you should be able to give this answer, right? You should be able to give this answer. I've given only less time for this, right? So please turn in fast. Maybe we can call it modulation property. That's what happens, right? M of t is multiplied with a carrier, right? So then, yeah, okay, again here, 33 have given correct answer. The correct answer is half of m of f plus fc plus m of f minus fc. So what happens is we'll get the m of f will be like attenuated in amplitude by half or magnitude by half, and it will be shifted right by FC and also shifted left by FC, right? So we'll see these things in detail while we are seeing the spectra, right? And now at this point, okay, maybe after this quiz I'll ask, what is the significance of this negative frequency content, right? When I drew a spectrum of baseband, real valued baseband signal, it was symmetric. It was an even function of frequency, right? It was symmetric about f is equal to 0, right? It had positive and negative frequency contents. What actually is the significance of negative frequency content? That is a question. That is an open question, right? Maybe after this, I'll give a chance to all of you to answer, right? So now this is the last question. It's a poll question. Do we need to discuss some of the basics included in this quiz before we move ahead and apply it for obtaining spectra of AM? So I think pretty much what is required so far we have. I'm getting scared. Why? Because this yes is actually what it's shooting up, right? Oh my God. So 3 have told no, right? And maybe I shouldn't have given an option yes, right? I should have given only no, so that you won't have. Okay, fine. So you want me to discuss this basics, but of course I'll we'll discuss this, right? But not in live sessions. I'll provide you materials, right? So this is the last slide. I'll end this, and maybe if you want to see the result, please do come back to your Google Meet, right? You can see the result. Who is the winner of today's quiz, right? So you can see the result. Who is the winner of today's quiz? Right. So all of you, please come back to Google Meet. Right. And yeah, if you are there in Google Meet, please do acknowledge me. Yeah, Suvira, okay, you had typed correct, sir.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you. Yeah, okay. All I think all are here. Can you see my screen? What I have shared? Actually, the results of today's quiz.
No, sir.
No. Okay, 1 second. I'll share it once again. Yeah, so I'm sharing the result of today's quiz, right? So maybe right, I'll read out first 5, but it's like it's not to what well, others, please don't feel bad, right? The aim of conducting this quiz was to make you people recollect the some of the basics which you are supposed to know, right? If you have made mistake in this, feel happy, like it gives you a chance to what learn it, right? So okay, fine. So today's topper is Shavya V, right? She had given 92% accurate answer, and her score is 10,400. And like again, Srisha KJ is also there with same score, right? And we have Saurabh and Sherwin, Sujan, Shilpa Shetty, Shiva Prasad, SD Prajwal, Pratiksha, Sanjay, Sahana. Yeah, all have played very well, right? Not a problem, right? So yeah, we'll. Yeah, I stopped sharing. So maybe I congratulate all those who participated. So it was not to what identify winner or test your knowledge, right? Just to make you aware these are the prerequisites. If you know this, then nothing can stop you from appreciating the concepts of amplitude modulation or any other topics, right? So, but you have to be. So I already told you, right? The importance why you should be involved in metacognition, right? So you should know why. If you didn't understand anything, you should think why you didn't understand. Maybe in most of the cases, if you didn't understand a concept, the reason, most probable reason would be you are missing some of the prerequisites, right? So that's why, right? So these are the prerequisites, right? And Yeah. Maybe, yeah. Now, can anyone tell me like what was your experience with this prerequisite quiz? Was it helpful, or do you think it was a waste of time? Right. Now we are already nearing our time to end this session. But okay, I think it's totally okay. Right now, I go to know what is your status, right? What inputs you need, right? And maybe as long as I can provide you with recorded sessions, right? Spending some quality time to learn prerequisites or for discussion in live session would be absolutely okay, right? Yeah. So can anyone unmute and tell your experience, please? Right now, I don't think we have time to what go forward and discuss the spectrum. I'll maybe again one more thing I forgot to tell. This Monday, like the live session which was supposed to be handled by Chaitra ma'am, as she has exam duty, I will be taking up that live session. So in next Monday's live session, we'll right discuss the spectrum of AM, and even I'll show you the spectrum of AM using MATLAB, right? And I'll also post some of the videos, right? Like maybe other parts, maybe single tone modulation, right? And AM, standard AM modulator and the envelope detector, all those things. I'll post it as video, right? So that you can watch at your own pace, right? But in next section, we'll start with discussion of spectra of standard AM. So before that, right, I want to know your opinion. Right. Are we supposed to spend this much time on refreshing this prerequisites? If you see in today's session, we have discussed only those prerequisites. I would have I instead of asking you whether you know and excuse me for 1 minute, I'm getting a call. Right. Yeah. Hello. Yeah. Please excuse. Forgive me. Yeah. So yeah. So can anyone tell me what like maybe today's maybe we have spent so much time on prerequisites and discussing that. I want you to tell me, was it helpful, or should I not be doing in this way, maybe instead of right? Yeah, please, someone has unmuted. Yeah, no, like maybe you can type it in chat window.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, tell me, Pradesh.
I think it was fun and a different way of helping us to refresh our prior knowledge. And as you said, through metacognition, we can get to know, like, usually we don't understand the concepts because of we do not know the basic concepts. So I think it was a fun and exciting way to refresh our knowledge and help us get to know the stuff.
Okay. Thank you, Pradeesha. And any other insights on this? Of course, one problem is that, but as long as I can provide you with recorded lectures, right? This we don't think time constraint would stop us from discussing the prerequisites. But one more thing, I will won't be discussing each and everything from the scratch of prerequisite. Instead of that, I'll limit my discussion only to what exactly is required for our uh, subject or syllabus, right? Otherwise we won't be able to what finish discussing our portions, right?
Yes, sir.
Otherwise, right, yeah. So maybe yeah, and any other observation or any other suggestion, right? Like I think rather than asking you whether you know this, if you know, please type it in chat window. At that time, all will not get involved. That's what I believe. Right? That's why I thought of coming up with this quiz itself, so that everyone will get involved, right? And one more thing, what I would like to tell is, the basic idea is not to evaluate you people, or right, make you people compete each other and to know who is a winner. It's not the idea. The idea is, like, maybe for you to recognize what you know and what you don't know, and like, I believe the prerequisite knowledge and linking with what is known to you with what is unknown, that is, right, learning. That's why we are doing this. So maybe we will end today's session with this. If you have anything else to tell, you can unmute yourself and tell, right? So and please, I have posted, you might have seen in Canvas, I have uploaded your prescribed textbook, right? And also the standard AM GeoGebra simulation, right? So please do play around with that, and please read the textbook. And in textbook, we have some, in textbook itself, we have some of the basic prerequisites of Fourier transform. I'll tell you what you have to refer, right? So it's, you don't have to sit and study everything from the scratch, right? If you go in a strict sequential manner, right, when we have time constraint, we won't be able to meet our target, right? So I'll help you out how to, what prerequisite you should like brush up, right? So this pretty much whatever we have discussed today covers the prerequisite for this first module, right? So that's it. And one more thing, I don't know whether you have noticed. So this will be my strategy. So before we move ahead and study everything in detail, I'll try and give you a big picture, right? What are the things you have to learn in this in a particular module, or related sets of topics, right? And maybe I want you people to appreciate why we have to learn this. Maybe the motivation behind that, I want you, I maybe I will try to convince, right? Then followed by, we'll just have a quick glance over the prerequisites. What, like, maybe there are some other prerequisites as well. So as and when required, we'll discuss that, right? So yeah, so that's it. And thank you so much for joining, right? And if anyone else has to tell anything, right, maybe you can type it in chat window, or you can unmute yourself and tell. So I take it as a no. I can see some of you have already left, right? Maybe because you have some other issue. We have actually run the show beyond the limited hours. Actually, our show was supposed to be till 10. Now it's 10:04, right? So please don't do that, right? In case if you have to leave, right? Please at least type a message in chat window and leave, or if it is because of some like network issues, okay, no problem, right? Otherwise, please don't leave, right? So okay, now we'll end today's session. So thank you so much for joining, right? So have a wonderful